had a crew called the Daggers.
Yeah.
We ran like a website called the Dagger Zone.
Oh shit! So this makes sense. Ditch Dagger Death Race.
Yep.
Damn, everything's clicking.
Yeah,
dude. So your crew is the Daggers.
Yeah, we were the Daggers solely because we at the time fixed gears were cool, and we rode fixed gears to the bar. There was another crew called like Hot City Destroyers, and they wore like, I don't know. They were our friends, but like, you know, we're shitty BMX kids, you know, like we're gonna make fun of everybody, so we're like, we need a tough name. Like we were watching Thrashing a lot at the time, and we were the Daggers, and
that's fire.
Then that's when the death race started. We did, you know, the fixed gear race / party. That was solely because Billy found all these crazy spots, and he's like, we could do an alley cat race, and it's gonna be insane.
And it became so insane. So let's explain. So Ditch is a crew of friends that originated in California in a literal ditch, and then I don't even know the whole history and shit of it, but a lot like Bay Area, I think.
They're like right? South of Bay, like Salinas.
So then Frank moves out here from there and just carries on the ditch. They all have like legit ditch tattoos, and that was all their Twitter handles was Ditch Frank, Ditch this, Ditch that. And I thought it was so cool. I didn't know about the Daggers, so that's an interesting crew name. And then I just hear about this like super gnarly famous race that all the hip people are talking about. Like it was like the subculture in Tempe, Arizona of like the Dagger Death Race. What? I never got to go to one, dude.
Oh, bummer.
Tell me about it, Ditch Dagger Death Race.
So the Death Race was an alley cat race. So if you're not familiar with alley cat racing, it's like a fixed gear race that, you know, came from bike messenger world.
Okay.
So you get a manifest, which is basically your stops. It's kind of like a scavenger hunt / you know, race. And in it, you know, in a traditional sense, it's how well you know the city is how you can win these things and how fast you are, right?
I didn't know that this type of race exists. That's awesome.
They still have
alley
even
cat
here.
race.
Yeah, they're cool. It's like a cool subculture. Like that's what was cool about that world to me at the time was this stuff. So we were like, we can do this. Like we're BMX kids. Do we know crazy spots?
Yeah.
You know, like, and we literally did this to just fuck with kids that rode fixed gears. Like everything was to fuck with them. We built like a fucking bridge that went over the creek at the wedge that had a giant roller in it that they couldn't get over without pedal striking, so they would fall in it. We made like a bridge like Trey did that rode across the pool. Like we made one of those in our friend's pool. We filled the pool up with dry ice. We had stops that like you had to shotgun a beer, take a shot of fucking tequila, and then spin around and then go do something.
Hell yes,
like everything was to just literally just fuck with all of these people, right?
What was the obstacle in the tunnel? I remember there was something infamous inside of a tunnel.
So there's a tunnel that goes underneath the 202, like right in Tempe, and it kind of dead ends at the end, but you get back in there and it's super creepy. Like it looks like someone's gonna get murdered when you're in
horror
there.
Movie shit. Yeah.
So we the best year that we did it is Billy, for some reason, I don't know, maybe he did it for this race, but he got like hundreds of doll parts, like heads and bodies, and he filled up this trunk, and then he filled up the trunk with fake blood, and we lit the back end with candles, and we played this CD on loop of like crying babies and like
my
moms
God,
yelling, and like then we put fucking like a smoke machine in there,
and
it was like
the far end of the tunnel.
in the far end of the tunnel, and you can't see it because the tunnel turns a little bit, so it's like you can see the light when you're in it, and then you turn around the corner and you can't see anything, and it's pitch black. And then you come around the corner and you just see this like
altar
murder scene basically. And so we did that, and like you know at every stop you had to like get something, you know, so it was like grab a baby doll Bobby part and bring that with you. And we had like there's like a cemetery in Tempe, and you had to take a tombstone rubbing of one of the graves that said "gone fishing," and there was like just funny little things like that, and like
I wish I
and then it ended up at like a giant party. Like we would figure out a bar that would like basically let us do it,
right?
Or like at the time Angel owned the clothing store, so we did it at the clothing store a couple times, like
sick.
But it was like, you know, it just became such a thing in Tempe that like
not only huge.
Was like there was more than 100 people that would do the actual race every year.
Right.
It would take us weeks to fucking plan and set this thing up.
Yeah.
It became this like whole event basically that like you know,
And
we
then
were
the
just,
surrounding parties
yeah,
too.
and we were BMX kids, so we'd like thrown jams and contests, and we like knew how to do that stuff. But this was like to a different level. Like we got bands to play. Like
It's so dope, dude.
we the last one of the last years we did at the bar, like we were having a meeting, like a sit down meeting at the bar about like doing the event there, and they're like, well, yeah, like how many people do you expect to show up? And I'm like, 300. And they're like, well, how much beer do you need? And I was like, literally as much beer as you can get. And they're like, what do you mean? Like, I'm gonna get, like, there's no way you'll run out of this beer. And I was like,
We will.
bet. You know, like you don't understand how much BMX dudes can drink. And then
Did it
you
end
get
at
a lot of them
Pasty?
together.
Is that what you're saying when you
No,
say the bar?
the place was literally called The Bar.
The bar.
It was on Apache and like Terrace.
Was it the maybe
know what it's called
maybe I'm
now,
tripping, but it's really shitty dive bar.
Yeah, it was a shitty dive bar.
I think I
for sure.
might know what you're talking about.
But it had room for all of us, and
that's fire.
yeah, it had a DJ. And
I love that.
bands
How
and-
many years did you guys keep it going? Because it was a Halloween event, no?
Yeah, it was always around Halloween. We did it for 7
years straight, dude.
At least 6, because I remember Dagger Death Race 666.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
But yeah, it was cool. I
That's
mean,
one
I
of
look
those
back,
things.
like we still joke about it. Like we should do it again. And, like
Yeah.
none of our lives are set up to like
Yeah, for real.
do this free event.
We're
basically.
married and-
yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have to like come back into town for a month and.
We'll leave that to the youths.
Yeah.
They got to reach the end of the video. Hopefully you enjoyed that clip. If you want to support me and the podcast, just subscribe and share the show with your friends. The full episode is in the description. So if you haven't, go check that out. It's also available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and wherever you listen to podcasts. And the goal is just to grow. So if you could share the show with your BMX homies, that'd be dope. Anybody that you know that is a BMX nerd and would enjoy this podcast, do me that favor and we'll keep all these clips coming and one episode every week. So I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.